I'm going to rank every single Titan in the game. Tell you guys the worst Titans, the best Titans, and then the best build for each Titan so you can get the most out of each build. I was going to make this video a while ago, but then the huge Titan rebalance happened and it changed the whole landscape of Titan rankings in the game. So let's start at number 10. Unfortunately, this one is not a surprise, but the one and only Kid Titan. One of my favorite Titans. But the Kid is actually decent when you're using your full action ability, because when you're using that ability, you get the extra use of that alpha slot weapon, and a lot of people don't realize this, you decrease 50% of incoming damage when that ability is active. The problem comes when that ability is finished and you have it on cooldown, because then you have no defense, you have less firepower, and you're pretty much a sitting duck where any enemy Titan or robot can really deal a whole lot of damage. The stovetop ability isn't bad, and I really like the visual effect, and even the damage on it's pretty decent, but the defense part is what worries me. If you're going to run the Kid Titan, I would opt for brawling weapons and not long range weapons. Don't go for like 600 meter range weapons, because you're just going to get out-sniped, and other smaller robots are going to be more mobile and they're going to pick you apart. The Kid does have very good mobility, and that's one of its strengths, very good speed, but I'm telling you, opt for shotguns, maybe Squall, Grom, Cinder, what are the new ones? Vadra, Mahavadra, very good options if you have them. Okay, so that's number 10. That is the Kid Titan. At number 9, it's a big jump from number 10 to 9, but the Arthur. The Arthur, I think, is way better than the Kid, so it's a big jump from 10 to 9, but the Arthur is a walking juggernaut if you can play it right and build it properly. The strength is the physical shield. There are so many weapons in the game right now that can't get through physical shields, and that's why the Arthur can really excel in certain situations. The problem is, the Arthur does not have a whole lot of durability. I've even used the Arthur in videos in recent weeks, and it does not do great when you pretty much go against robots or multiple robots at once, and they can shoot you from different angles, and your physical shield becomes useless. You want to try to isolate 1v1s and make use of that physical shield. It has, close to 1.5 million HP, which is insane for a physical shield. And I'd like to see it get a little bit more speed because its mobility isn't great either. But that's how I rank the Arthur. I was almost going to put the Arthur at number 8, but I wasn't going to for this one reason. Because at number 8, I have the one and only Ming. So the Ming is only ahead of the Arthur because of this Dazzler Lantern build. If the Dazzler Lantern did not exist in the game, I would actually put the Arthur ahead of the Ming. But the Dazzler Lantern Ming is just so effective because you can go up in the sky and the firepower is insane, and you can sit back at 600 meter range and just rip enemies apart. So if this build did not exist, the Arthur would be at number 8. But you see a lot of these Mings in Champion League for good reason. The target malfunction is still crazy. I know the weapons were nerfed, but the weapons are still extremely effective. And the Ming itself, look at my health here. 485,000. Health is garbage. Firepower is great. Healing ability is not very good. It's really the firepower and the flying, being able to, fly back from enemies is pretty good. Number 7, Heimdall. Okay, Heimdall is a bit of a weird one because the Heimdall has gotten, when it was released into the game, it was pretty weak, and it's received like 3 buffs since it was released into the game, and now it's finally at like a formidable part where you can actually use it effectively in Champion League. A lot of players like to put Lantern on their Heimdall. I also like to use close range shotgun weapons just because it's a bit more entertaining. But the brawling ability is great. They buffed the grenade launcher, so the suppressant, to deal more damage. It has better healing than it used to. So overall, it's a pretty well-rounded Titan. The problem is you're going to want to stay away from those really bulky tank Titans like a Luchador, because you just can't compete when they have the reflector and they're over 1 million HP. So next, at number 6, maybe this is a surprise, maybe it's not, the Minos. The Minos, I think, is making a comeback in the game because of the new shotgun weapons. The Cinder are good too. Obviously, the Cinder aren't as good as they used to be before the buff, or before the nerf, I should say. But the Vadra is a very good build on the Minos as well. Because with your reflector up, this robot becomes extremely difficult to take down. Even the, what are they called? The Panther Gruel are very effective on the Minos. You can use a bunch of different builds on the Minos, and they're all pretty effective, and the Minos is hard to take down. You can run beacons with it. you can brawl with it and put your reflector up. But overall, I think a number 6 is pretty reasonable. Because also, if in these Titan rankings, I think the robot in the rankings, so number 6 should be able to beat all the other robots behind it on the rankings, which I think is accurate. It should be able to take down Ming's, Arthur's, the kid obviously, Heimdall's even. So that is how I rank Minos, because of that very effective reflector and the new weapons gave it almost a indirect buff. At number 5, Nodens. I was actually going to rank Nodens higher, but Nodens has become slowly the ultimate support robot in the game. It used to be good, but it's been buffed slowly over time, and now it pretty much is the ultimate clan or squad Titan. If you're just running it solo in the game, I actually think it's worse than number 5. I would maybe rank it like number 7. But if you play it right, and I'm telling you, don't annoy your teammates. Do this if you're running the Nodens. Sit back. You don't have to camp, but sit back and heal all your teammates, and you will be an extremely effective support bot. The issue is, a lot of players try to brawl with it, like I've done this before too. You kind of forget the healing part, you go forward, you brawl with the Nodens, and then all of a sudden, you're getting taken out and you really didn't do anything. A lot of clans and squads even, they'll always have like, they'll have their top Titans, and then one Nodens back, just healing them all up, and it is extremely effective. And the Nodens is a pretty old Titan at this point, so it's pretty good that it's ranked this high on my list anyways. I don't know how everybody ranks it, but let me know in the comments below. So next, number 4, this is where it gets tricky. After the rebalance, all these Titans kind of swapped and became a lot closer on the rankings. At number 4, the Murometz. You can actually argue, and I think it's a valid argument, that the Nodens is more effective than the Murometz because of that crazy healing ability, being able to heal multiple enemies at once. So in clan play, I would say the Nodens is better. But in solo play, I would still say the Murometz is better. The Murometz obviously got nerfed. One of the biggest nerfs to it is when you're falling from the sky, you no longer have stealth, so you're a wide open target. The rain rockets were nerfed as well. So it's still effective. If you're going in a squad, I would actually prefer the Nodens, but if you're going solo, the EMP is still unmatched. The EMP is so useful against pretty much any Titan to completely disarm them and then pick them apart. I think the best Murometz build is the blinder weapons, and on the Nodens, the blinders are good. I see a lot of players running Vadra on the Nodens, which is a good build too. But overall, Murometz still very good, but the Murometz used to be number 1, now dropped to number 4. So at number 3, we have the Sharanga. So the Sharanga has also moved all the way up. It used to be way ranked down on the list, in my mind anyways, and now it's super effective. I see everyone running everything from, what is it, Gargantua to Dazzler to Mahavadra. Like, it has a huge range of different weapons that are effective, but it's the ultimate brawler. The firepower is unmatched. In 1v1, this robot, excluding abilities, can take down any robot in the game. You really just have to play it properly, where players can't just bum rush you and then throw up a reflector and take you down. You want to play it properly. I see even squad players using this Sharanga. I use this Sharanga in squads with Dazzler, with, what are they called? Gargantua. I've used the Mahavadra, which is a very high risk, high reward build. But overall, that's where I rank this Sharanga. You'll see this Indra's coming at me. That target malfunction occurs, then it renders them completely useless, and you can just chew them up. Even though the blinder weapons got nerfed, they're still extremely, extremely effective. So this is also where it might get a little bit more dicey, but you could probably guess what number 2 is. At number 2 ranks, we have the Luchador still. So the Luchador got nerfed, but it's still, I think, the second best Titan in the game right now. The durability is amazing. The reflector is not as effective as it used to be, but it's still very good. I would always recommend brawling weapons for the Luchador. I don't see a whole lot of point, if that makes sense, in running long-range weapons in the Luchador. Play to the Luchador's strength. Load up heavy damage modules, pump that HP up, and load up brawling weapons to get close to enemies and just rip them apart. No other robot. I think the Behu Luchador is still the most durable Titan in the game when you load up the proper modules. So play to the strengths. A lot of players are still running the Luchador, so if you have one, definitely run it. Unless, that is, you have the number 1 ranked Titan in the game. And I wish it wasn't like this, but it's definitely true. the one and only Indra Titan. The Indras are taking over the game, and they're definitely becoming the craziest Titan in the game. The problem with the Indra is, I don't know how good the Indra would be if the Vajra in Mahavajra weren't as crazy as they really are. The weapons make the robot so much more insane. Like, if you put Grom and Squall on the Indra, I don't think it's going to be as powerful. So once or if Pixonic nerfs those weapons, it could really change the landscape. There's also a bit of a learning curve to the Indra, I found. Using it, the mobility, timing your abilities properly with the lasso and then your phase shifts. You really have to work on timing those effectively, or else you can get caught out in the open, you can get EMP'd. And the one thing is too, a lot of people say, oh, if you have a Murometz, just EMP the Indra. The problem is, you know when a Murometz drops in and it stares right at you and you know you're about to get EMP'd? If you go into your phase shift, you can't get EMP'd. So it completely erases that. So that's why there's not a very good counter to the Indra. Indra, a ton of HP, good firepower, amazing abilities, even the lasso ability is very effective, and it really is the top robot in the game. So that is my full list of top 10 Titans, all the Titans ranked. Let me know where you disagree. I did find, minus the Indra, because the Indra seems to be kind of separate, it's so good in the game, all the other Titans seem to come a lot closer together after the rebalance. Like the Nodens got better, the Heimdall got better, the Murometz got worse, the Luchador got nerfed. So all of those are a lot more even, which I think is good. The problem is the Indra is like overpowered with these new weapons. So there it is. Peace, chicken spaghettios. See you guys next time.